Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reading a chapter to you out of this book. It's called The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks. Chapter 3, and it is titled Beth. Beth set aside her can of Diet Coke, glad that Ben was having a good time at his friend Zach's birthday party. She was just wishing that he didn't have to go to his father's when Melody came by and sat in the chair beside her. Good idea, huh? The water guns are a big hit, Melody smiled, her bleached teeth a bit too white, her skin a shade too dark, as though she'd come back from a trip to the tanning salon, which she probably had. Melody had been vain about her appearance since high school, and lately it seemed to have become even more of an obsession. Let's just hope they don't turn those super soakers on us. They better not, Melody frowned. I told Zach that if he did, I'd send everyone home. She leaned back, making herself more comfortable. What have you been doing with yourself this summer? I haven't seen you around, and you haven't returned my calls. I know, I'm sorry about that. I've been a hermit this summer. It's just been hard trying to keep up with Nana and the kennel and all the training. I had no idea Nana kept it up for so long. Nana's doing okay these days? Nana was Beth's grandmother. She raised Beth since the age of 3. After Beth's parents died in a car accident, she nodded. She's getting better, but the stroke took a lot out of her. Her left side is still really weak. She can manage some of the training, but running the kennel and training is beyond her. And you know how hard she pushes herself. I'm always worried she might be overdoing it. I noticed she was back in the choir this week, in the choir this week. Nana had been in the First Baptist Church choir for over 30 years, and Beth knew it was one of her passions. Last week was her first week back, but I'm not sure how much singing she actually did. Afterward, she took a 2-hour nap. Melody nodded. What's going to happen when school starts up? I don't know. You are going to teach, aren't you? I hope so. You hope? Don't you have teacher meetings next week? Beth didn't want to think about it, let alone discuss it. But she knew Melody meant well. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'll be there. I know it would leave the school in a bind, but it's not as if I can leave Nana alone all day. Not yet, anyway. And who would help her run the kennel? There's no way she can run the dogs all day. Can you hire someone? Melody suggested. I've been trying. Did I tell you what happened earlier in the summer? I hired a guy who showed up twice and quit as soon as the weekend rolled around. Same thing with the next guy I hired. After that, no one's even bothered to come by the help wanted sign and become a permanent fixture in the window. David's always complaining about the lack of good employees. Tell him to offer minimum wage, then he'd really complain. Even high school kids don't want to clean the cages anymore. They say it's gross. It is gross, Beth laughed. Yeah, it is, she admitted, but I'm out of time. I doubt if anything will change before next week, and if it doesn't, there are worse things. I do enjoy training the dogs. Half the time they're easier than students. Like mine. Yours was easy, trust me. Melody motioned toward Ben. He'd grown since the last time I saw him. Almost an inch, she said, thinking it was nice of Melody to notice. Ben had always been small for his age. The kid always positioned to the left side front of the class picture. Half a head shorter than the child seated next to him. Zach, Melody's son, was just the opposite right-hand side in the back, always the tallest in class. I heard a rumor that Ben isn't playing soccer this fall. Melody commented. He wants to try something different. Like what? He wants to learn to play the violin. He's going to take lessons with Mrs. Hastings. She's still teaching. She must be at least 90. But she's got patience to teach a beginner, or at least that's what she told me. And Ben likes her a lot. That's the main thing. Good for him, Melody said. I'll bet he'll be great at it. But Zach's going to be bummed. They wouldn't be on the same team. Zach is going to play for the select team, right? If he makes it, he will. And he would. Zach was one of the naturally confident, competitive kids who matured early and ran rings around other less talented players on the field like Ben. Even now, running around the yard with his super soaker, Ben could keep up with him. Though good-hearted and sweet, Ben wasn't much of an athlete, a fact that endlessly infuriated her ex-husband. Last year, her ex had stood on the sidelines of soccer games with a scowl on his face, which which was another reason Ben didn't want to play. Is David going to help coach again? David was Melody's husband and one of two pediatricians in town, and he hasn't decided yet. Since Hoskins left, he's been on call a lot more. He hates it, but what can he do? They've been trying to recruit another doctor, but it's been hard. Not everyone wants to work in a small town, especially with the nearest hospital in Wilmington 45 minutes away. It makes for much longer days. Half the time he doesn't get home until almost 8. Sometimes it's even later than that. Beth heard the worry in Melody's voice, and she figured her friend was thinking about the affair David had confessed to last winter. Beth knew enough not to comment on it. She decided when she first heard the whispers that she would talk about it. Only if Melody wanted to, and if not, that was fine too. It was none of her business. How about you, though? Have you been seeing anyone? Beth grimaced. No, not since Adam. Whatever happened with that? I have no idea. Melody shook her head. I can't say that I envy you. I never liked dating, but but at least you were good at it. I'm terrible. You're exaggerating. I'm not, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm not sure I even have the energy for it anymore. Wearing thongs, shaving my legs, flirting, pretending to get along with his friends. The whole thing seems like a lot of effort. Melody wrinkled her nose. You don't shave your legs? Of course I shave my legs, she said, then lowering her voice. Most of the time, anyway. She sat up straighter, but you get the point. Dating is hard, especially for someone my age. Oh, please, you're not even 30 and you're a knockout. Beth had heard that for as long as she could remember. And she wasn't immune to the fact that men, even married men, often craned their necks when she walked past them. In her first 3 years teaching, she had only one parent-teacher conference with a father who came alone. In every other instance, it was the mother who attended the conference. She remembered wondering aloud about it to Nana a few years back, and Nana had said, they don't want you alone with the hubbies because you're as pretty as a tickled pumpkin. Nana always had a unique way of putting things. You forget where we live, Beth offered. There aren't a lot of single men my age, and if they are single, there's a reason. That's not true. Maybe in a city, but around here in this town, trust me, I've lived here all my life, and even when I was in college, I commuted from home. On the rare occasions that I have been asked out, we'll go on 2 or 3 dates, and then they stop calling. Don't ask me why. She waved a hand philosophically, but it's no big deal. I've got Ben and Nana. It's not like I'm living alone surrounded by dozens of cats. No, you've got dogs. Not my dogs, other people's dogs. There's a difference. Oh yeah, Melody snorted. Big difference. Across the yard, Ben was trailing behind the group with his super soaker, doing his best to keep up when he suddenly slipped and fell. His glasses tumbled off into the grass. Beth knew enough not to get up and see if he was okay. The last time she tried to help, he'd been visibly embarrassed. He felt around until he found his glasses and was up and running again. They grow up so fast, don't they? Said Melody, interrupting Ben's thoughts. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. I remember my mom telling me they would, and thinking she didn't know what she was talking about. I couldn't wait for Zach to get a little older. Of course, at the time he had colic, and I hadn't slept more than a couple hours a night in over a month, but now just like that, they'll be starting middle school already. Not yet, they've got another year. I know, but it still makes me nervous. Why? You know, it's a hard age. Kids are in the stage where they're beginning to understand the world of adults without having the maturity of adults to deal with everything going on around them. Add to that all the temptations, and the fact that they stop listening to you the way they once did, and the moods of adolescence, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm not looking forward to it. You're a teacher, you know. That's why I teach 2nd grade. Good choice. Melody grew quiet. Did you hear about Elliot Spencer? I haven't heard much of anything. I've been a hermit, remember? He was caught selling drugs. He's only a couple of years older than Ben, and still in middle school. Now you're making me nervous. Melody rolled her eyes. Don't be. If my son were more like Ben, I wouldn't have reason to be nervous. Ben has an old soul. He's always polite, he's always kind, always the first to help the younger kids. He's empathetic. I, on the other hand, have Zach. Zach's a great kid too. I know he is, but he's always been more difficult than Ben. And he's more of a follower than Ben. Have you seen him playing? From where I'm sitting, Ben's doing all the following. You know what I mean. Okay, so guys, I'm going to stop right here. And maybe in the next couple days I'll finish reading you guys the chapter. Please like, comment, subscribe to this video. Let me know what you think of the book. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.